Spaniard Carlota Segunda off to a hot start. 4 birdies in her first 4 holes, from 2 behind to lead by 2 over Lexi Thompson. Came so close here last year. And that final pair, Maya Stark and Allison Corpuz, a couple of rookies. Grant Boone and our veteran crew, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, as the odd-numbered holes. Karen Stupples, Kate Cockrell, and Angela Stanford are out on the golf course. A little breezier today, Morgan, as we watch Carlota Segunda at the 6th.
Yeah, we actually had a 25-minute delay this morning. A little bit of thunder in the area, lightning. But a little cold front that's blown through, changed the wind direction a little bit out of the north, and also made it quite a bit colder. It's been quite warm here since Tropical Storm Nicole made its way out on Thursday. It's been quite hot.
How about that hot start for Carlota Segunda? She leads it by 2. As we take you to the 5th and say hi to Tom.
Yeah, final pairing, Allison Corpuz and Maya Stark. And this is Stark for a birdie. And Karen Stupples will follow the final group for us today.
She's been playing quite steady, Tom. Has struggled a little bit with some clubbing into the greens, leaving herself some longer putts for birdie, but a good chance here.
She's been strong from that range so far this week. Felt like she putted a lot better yesterday than she did on Friday. Kind of wears her emotions on her sleeve. You are always aware when she's not happy about a particular shot or a putt. Let's go to 12.
And another first-time winner this year, like Maya Stark. It's the Englishwoman, Jody Ewart-Shadoff, at the par 3. We still haven't given away a Lamborghini this week.
Well, there's still some golf left to play. Yeah. It's still possible. But considering last year we gave 3 away.
Yeah. We've got about 10 more pairs to come through that 12th as we go back to 5.
And here is Allison Corpuz, the rookie.
And Tom, as per the first 2 rounds, her approach game has been pretty strong. She's been giving herself a number of opportunities, but the putt has been cold so far today.
That is statistically the worst part of her game. I know she's worked a lot to improve those stats and become a better putter. But under pressure, sometimes some of those old habits come back out.
To the par 4 6th we go. We find Lexi Thompson, and we'll hear from Kate Cockrell.
She laid up off the tee, and I think has left herself a little bit more yardage than she would have liked. 157 yards. However, Morgan, with that helping right to left wind.
I just don't need that gut.
Yeah, I know.
Where it's going. If I can't hit the next one.
No. You got the right glove in your hand.
Confirmation from older brother Nicholas. This should play at least 20 yards less than the actual yardage, so looking to hit more like 130, 35-yard shot.
She talked a little bit about sometimes getting flyers even out of the fairway with as steep as she is into these shots. I think that's maybe what she was worried about right there, but what a shot there, Kay.
That was excellent, and that extra confirmation allowed her to swing freely.
That'll be to get within 1 of Segunda, who is in the group right in front of her. To 7.
This is the 3rd shot for Kyo-Ju Kim. Par 5. A little bit of stop on that, and she'll have a chance to get it under par for the day. 1 birdie, 1 bogey for the major champ Kyo-Ju Kim. This is Gabby Lopez.
Making sure she's not teed up ahead of the tee markers there, Tom.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Short hole today. They've put the flag on the front right of the green. Kind of give the players a chance to hit a wedge in there close.
Definitely tell how the greens have firmed up, though, since that front hole location on this hole the first day. That still landed quite softly, though, even downwind.
And we'll go back over to 7. Anything above the hole here can be pretty quick. The green in this part of the green slopes from back to front. And look Look how far that ball just keeps rolling by. Spun out of the hole.
I just carried a fraction too much pace, fraction less pace, it would have fallen in, but still, I mean, it's just a very severe area of the green there on 7. Have to watch the leaders as they go through that hole location.
You see the name Matro in a tie for 6th place. It's Morgan Matro of Switzerland. Look at her place on the CME points list, 101. Today's the final day to move into the top 100 and secure your card for next year, and she has done the work, it looks like.
She's projected to move to 86th, and that would be well within that bubble. She even has a little cushion going into the last couple of holes.
You make a couple of birdies, who knows, you may be playing a couple hours down the road at Tiburon next week. Top 63 will make it there. We'll keep you abreast of that as we go along today. This is Jody Ewart Shadoff. Makes her home in Orlando with her husband Adam. Won on the West Coast just a few weeks ago.
Quick putt, putting back towards the water. You can see she barely tapped that.
.246th career start, and finally a winner. And she'll carry a head of steam into the season's final event next week, the CME Group Tour Championship. To 7 again.
And Hyo-Joo Kim for the birdie. That gets her to 8 under par. Still has a chance. Hyo-Joo doesn't play a lot of golf on the LPGA, but when she does play, she takes advantage. She's had a lot of good finishes this year, including a win at the Lotte Championship.
Well, to your point, she trails only this woman, Hyo-Joo does, in the scoring average statistics, Lydia Ko, but Hyo-Joo doesn't play enough to even qualify for the Vare Trophy, so it looks like Lydia is going to win the Vare Trophy again, Morgan.
And no surprise with the way that she's played this season. Just her consistency has been spectacular.
Segunda with 4 birdies out of the gate, leads it by 2. Lexi with a birdie putt in a moment.
Back at the 7th hole, and the 3rd shot for Carlota Segunda. Angela, what happened off the tee for Segunda?
Looked like she just missed it left. It just barely trickled into the bunker. She has laid up to here. She has 79 yards to the flag.
How's your Spanish?
I should have touched up on that before today, Tom.
Yeah, it's okay. You learn for next time.
Rookie mistake.
Just got to pay attention to not have too much spin on this.
Yeah,
Is it nearly directly into the wind here?
I was just thinking that, Morgan. It's a little off her left, but definitely into. It's only 11 paces on, so she does have to control her spin.
Yeah, controlled it well.
Maybe a slick putt, though, from above the hole.
Lexi Thompson trying to go back-to-back with birdies at 5 and here at 6.
This is the shortest birdie putt she's had in a few holes. Really nice 9-iron, controlled 9-iron to this point. Just a slightly uphill putt that will want to pull from right to left.
How big was the putt to drop at 5, Morgan?
Well, I think it's important for her to get something going, starting the round. You know, I think back to Toledo when she was in the final round and really couldn't get anything going, couldn't get any of those putts to drop. So anytime you can see the ball go in the hole, it builds confidence. There's another one right there.
More important for Lexi even than some other players, you think?
I think any player especially, but of course what we have seen with Lexi over time, I think it's really important for her confidence. But she says she's really confident after winning a few weeks ago on the Ladies European Tour.
Absolutely. So she's within 1 as we go to 7.
And Nellie's third here at the par 5.
She was trying to be aggressive, but she was on the right side of the fairway. Had to probably hit a little cut shot into a wind that's moving left to right. So she has 30 yards here. Let's see if she can get it up and down for birdie.
Yeah, lovely. Above the hole, but a very good look at birdie. And a chance for Nelly to get to 10 under par within a couple of shots of the lead. This is Gabby Lopez for a birdie at the 9th. And that putt was very quick, but not quite that fast. So just going to be a 3 for Gabby, and she needs to make a few birdies if she's going to get into contention here on the back 9. A little too far back at 7 under.
All right, the final pair is at the 6th, and this is Maya Stark.
She has 131, found herself on a bit of a downslope here, and she's got a gap wedge. The wind is helping quite significantly behind right now. She's been expecting the ball to hop forward a few times, but she's been getting a lot of spin on her shots. This one's got to go.
You can be on the 7th tee in a hurry.
Pulled it.
Yeah, there they go, off to the 7th tee.
Maybe a little bit of an overcorrection there from what Karen said. Downhill lie, just tugging it, not allowing it to fall right.
5 pars for Corpuz so far, Karen.
Yes, and you know, this is the area of the game that she's good. You know, these distance control wedges, this is from 127. This actually is a pitching wedge, so this is going to be really controlled for her. She's going to have to land short of that flag and then just release back to it. It really has been about being able to get the ball to disappear into the hole for her.
End up just in that bottom swale. Didn't quite stay up on top like where we saw Lexi just putting from. She'll have to maneuver over that ridge.
Up 1 to 7.
And Segunda for her 5th birdie of the day.
It's easy to be tentative on that putt as quick as it is, not wanting to let it get away from you.
Segunda remains 4 under for the round. Started with 4 consecutive birdies. A wonderful start for the Spaniard. And now in a battle with some of the biggest names on the LPGA Tour, including the former world #1, Nelly Korda, who's got this to get it to 10 under and within 2 of the lead. Straight downhill, isn't it, Morgan?
Yeah, but Nelly likes to drip her putts just barely in the front edge, so I don't think that she fears downhillers in the same way that maybe other players do.
Nicely done. Good up and down. A hole that she would like to take advantage of. 7th, the par 5, a birdie opportunity. Playing as one of the easier holes on the golf course today, the easiest hole of the week.
Maya Stark is playing the 6th from the 7th tee. preferred lies this week because of the soggy conditions, Karen?
It is, and this is going to work in her favour too, being able to move at a club length, because had she had to play it where it was, there would be a sprinkler head, and it's a rather large sprinkler head that would be right on her line. So she's trying to decide now whether if she moves to the right or to the left of that spot, which is going to give her the best chance of avoiding that sprinkler head, because I think that the play from this area is a putt.
And you would get relief if you were within 2 club lengths of that sprinkler head, but obviously she's a little bit too far away. But
Morgan, one of the best scrambling statistics on the LPGA Tour. She's ranked 3rd in just a few starts that she had. We saw her in Portland, where she played well, show some really skillful shots around the green.
And we've seen a few already this week. I actually wouldn't be surprised if she pulled a wedge here, just how comfortable she is, but a little bit off a down slope there.
It's actually pretty flat where she is, but it's going to go up a little slope onto the green and then back downhill towards the hole.
Yep, here we go with the wedge.
Pitched in at 8 for birdie. Her 17th of the day yesterday got her into this final pair.
Once this hits the green, it's going to move to the right, and I think this club here takes away some of that break.
It's one of the most unique chipping actions you'd ever see, standing so close to the ball. Yeah, not her best effort there. I flirted a little bit too much with that sprinkler head for my liking, but I'm not entirely sure why she does this move. It's really something that I don't know that I've seen very much in professional golf. Somebody standing so close to it. Typically you'd want to be slightly open on these kinds of shots to be able to take it a little bit out and a little bit back inside, going through, hit a little bit of a cut shot and generate more spin. But I'm not going to argue with her technique because it seems to work exceptionally well.
It almost looks like a drill you'd see a player use maybe on the practice tee.
It looks like a drill that I do to try and keep my right foot back, my right leg back on my full swing. Not so much on my chips, though.
But, Karen, as we watch Corpuz descend into the valley there at 6, you wonder if that was in Stark's mind as she was pitching toward that big dip.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, well, you think if Stark's chip rolls 3 yards past the hole, it's going all the way down into that swale for sure.
Okay, so that's not a discoloration. That's not going into the green. That's actually the dip in the green. It's kind of a Biarritz green like you see at the 12th.
So it's going to be quite slow up that hill, and then it's going to break down to the left.
It technically is into the green from where we're seeing, just to be clear, but really that's it's just a function of how severe that undulation is. Now for birdie.
I've always found that's actually the best way. A lot of people look at the hole to read grain, but I like to look at whether it's light or dark. As you can see, it's light towards us, so that means this is going to be quite into the grain for her.
Flagstick blowing everywhere, but she leaves it in. And over at the 12th, Lizette Salas. Get into the top 10, okay. She's tied for 8th now at 7 under. Got some tough closing holes. It's tough to imagine what the winning score might be, huh? The win?
Yeah, it's such a tight leaderboard, too. I mean, truly anything can happen here on this back 9.
This is Brittany Lang at the 9th.
Great shot.
Very good. Give herself a chance for a birdie. She's dropped a couple of shots over the last few holes. And Brittany 2 over for the day at the moment, projected 123rd in the race to the CME Globe. Back to that final pairing.
And this is the par putt for Maya Stark.
This one has to move to the right.
Yeah, she's playing it well outside the hole, maybe about a cup or so.
Yeah, it's a good bit of break at the back of the screen.
Oh, just ran out of pace. We had a really good look at that from behind and just needed a fraction more pace.
Bogey and a birdie for Stark.
Yeah, that's frustrating
behind, yeah.
with a gap wedge in your hands coming into this green.
Going back to where she played her third shot from here, the 7th tee. And now Karen's certainly not in here. About, what, 3.5, 4 feet maybe?
Yeah, it's, I'd say maybe 3 feet. But again, I mean, you saw how much Starks broke to the right. And this is going to have a little bit of movement to the left. I wouldn't necessarily say as much as Starks, but you do have to pay attention to that. So probably just the whole ball on the edge, or just on the splitting that right edge of the hole as a line.
Safely in, and all pars for Allisen Corpuz to begin her final round. She'd never led after any round in this, her rookie season on the LPGA Tour. She's now trailing by 2.
Leo and Willis.
Back at the 7th hole, Lexi Thompson not far from the green. This is her 3rd.
Both she and Maria Fassi had a chance of getting on this par 5 and 2 despite that strong northwest wind. Lexi pulled her shot a little bit, ended up in the bottom of this deep bunker. It's actually a really good lie and has a lot of green to work with. The green will tilt from her left to right, so she's going to have to play this a little bit out to the left and let it release down.
You see how deep the bunkers are. Lexi's one of the tallest players on tour, and she's totally disappeared.
Yeah, these are beautiful bunkers, and they're cut so cleanly along the edges.
Ah, that had a beautiful sound to it.
It did. Almost too much spin, but overall, I think that's pretty acceptable.
It's below the hole, and it's in a range where she has a lot of success, that kind of length. So a good chance for Lexi Thompson to get it to 12 under par, tie the lead. Over at the 9th, Brittany Lang needs a big back 9 here to get inside that top 100 in the race to the CME Globe and potentially keep her card. Kevin Spann, her husband, on the bag.
Need to work on the high 5. At the 16th, Mooney He talking about big finishes. China played at USC collegiately. front right hole location at 16. She'll have a chance to get to 5 under.
She may need to nearly birdie out in order to avoid going to Q Series.
Yeah. This is the 8th, and it's Carlota Segunda from the pine straw and needles over there.
Yeah, Grant, she has the advantage of this flag is on 32 paces, so, you know, she's looking at, she has about 206 to the flag, but 174 to the front. She can either fly it and clear the front, or she could hit it 10 yards short, and it'll still hop on. But 5 yards short, it's going to hit an upslope, so she has a 5-iron.
I'd say the miss maybe is just slightly long. I don't think it's the end of the world if it goes over to this back hole location. It's such a weird green, Angela. It slopes away from the player.
Yes, and it's played as one of the hardest holes all week because of the green complex, but she has mishit this one.
Looked like she caught maybe a little bit of that moss in her backswing. That's a big miss. It's tough to hit a shot that far from the pine straw. Keep your body as still as possible and not slip. And we saw a spectacular shot from Lydia yesterday, but
off the charts.
Just it's so hard to do.
So Segunda in a bit of trouble at the 8th. Meanwhile, we go back to 7.
And Lexi Thompson with a birdie putt upcoming here.
Tom, as one would imagine, she has played the par 5s well. There's only 2 par 5s on this golf course, 1 on each side. She's 4 under through the first 2 days. Eagled this hole the first round. And as you said, this is an uphill putt, but it's still going to have maybe a little bit of sliding motion to it. So she's got to be a little firm with this so it holds its line.
To tie the lead, a winner recently on the Ladies European Tour. And can she win on the LPGA this season? It's going to be a big final stretch here for Lexi Thompson at the Pelican. But she is in fine form right now. 3 birdies in a row, tied for the lead.
And Nelly Korda, with whom Lexi battled last year here, and Nelly wound up winning. Here she is at 8. Second shot on the way.
Yeah, that'll work out very nicely. Look at how quickly that is as the green does slope away. Beautiful shot there from Nelly.
Segunda, remember, has missed the green wide to the right. Back to 7.
Yeah, the final pairing, the second shot for Corpus.
She's got 226 to the front, 237 to the hole. She's on a bit of a downslope, which is good because she's back into the wind. It will help keep the ball down low. This one trying to fade.
It's trying to get up, but it might meander into that bunker. Tough to tell from here. Karen will update us when we come back to that final pairing, but let's go ahead to the 16th.
And Mooney, he to get to 5 under. Tremendous approach. So she's projected to move to number 109, and we'll just keep telling you, number 100, that's the number you're looking for to keep your card. Last year, she finished 99th on the C&E points list and barely keep her card. She's trying to make a late run today. Lexi has tied the lead. 6 and 7.
Okay. I like it.
The final Sunday of the final regular season event of the LPGA's 2022 schedule has dawned. Overcast, a few spits of rain, a little cooler, a little breezy here at the Pelican Women's Championship. A bunched up leaderboard. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel looking for someone to make a move. And so far, early on, Carlota Segunda, the Spaniard, for birdie at 1.
Started as a really bunched up leaderboard, but Carlota off to the hottest start of the day.
Can she make it 2 in a row? This at par 4 second with a wild sloping green. No problem. So that tied her at 10 under par. Began the day 2 shots back of Allison Corpuz at the third for 3 in a row.
All from the similar distance, 10 to 15 feet. Beautiful strokes.
So that gave her the lead outright. And then her second at the fourth.
A little right off the tee, but hole location today located in the center bowl of this fourth hole. Gets a little bit of release from coming out of the rough. Manages it perfectly.
Unos, dos, tres, cuatro. 4 straight birdies for Carlota Segunda to take the lead. Lexi Thompson, a birdie at 5 after 4 pars. And then at the 6th, another. So Lexi within 1 of Segunda, and then to tie her at 7.
After being in the green side bunker in 2, using her length to her advantage, and another beautiful stroke.
So as we show you the leaderboard, you've got a couple of proven winners. Lexi Thompson, Carlota Segunda, each looking to snap long victory droughts. The defending champion Nelly Corda, the rookie Allison Corpuz. It is tied at the top for the final round in Bel Air, Florida. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present this season-long race to the CME Globe. From Bel Air, Florida, it's final round coverage of the Pelican Women's Championship. Here in this city where the LPGA played for the very first time back in 1950. It's the final regular season event of 2022. Pelican Golf Club opened nearly 100 years ago, redesigned in 2018, and this is what the board looked like with the rookie from Hawaii, Allison Corpuz, leading it by 1 coming into this final round. But 18 players were within 5 shots of her. It is wild at the top of the leaderboard. Morgan and I are joined by Tom Abbott, and out on the golf course, Karen Stupples, Kate Cockrell, and Angela Stanford. So Segunda, who got off to that hot start, scrambling at the 8th for par, and Angela Stanford is there.
Yeah, this putt's going to be downhill, down green.
Toughest hole this week, and it's going to claim another victim.
Yeah, just out of position off the tee, well right off the tee. Mishit her shot off the pine straw, and it's just a really tough hole.
So now Lexi leads it by 1 as we take you back to the 7th.
And this is Allison Corpuz. Is this where her second shot finished up, Karen?
No, it's not. This she was in the little swale just to the right of the front right bunker, and she tried to play a shot, but the club just got stuck in the ground as it was so into the grain and barely just got it to this point here. I was concerned it might even come back to her feet, but as it is, has this chance for a birdie. Long range, though.
Good effort.
Yep.
So steadied herself down after that mistake. And it will be a par, no damage to the card. Huge day for Corpuz.
She's tied with Nelly Corda, but maybe not for long. Nelly for birdie at 8. That's 3 birdies for Nelly today, including back-to-back at 7 and 8, and the defending champion is just 1 back. She and Lexi battled it out last year. 7 again.
Yeah, another rookie in the final pairing, the Swede, Maja Stark.
Well, just having come off a bogey at the previous hole, Tom, her tee shot went a little bit left and was quite fortunate that the ground is so soft, so it didn't get a bad kick into the penalty area off the tee left, but was forced to lay up, hit a really good wedge to this point, left herself a downhiller here. Really feisty competitor. There you go.
Good effort there. Maya's had great success in the short time that she's been a pro. She has a win on the LPGA Tour, which came this summer in Northern Ireland, but she's added 5 wins on the Ladies European Tour as well, and only turned pro in August. A couple of very talented Swedes coming through right now on the LPGA. Stark and Lynn Grant. Now Nelly Korda at the 9th, and that's safely to the left of the hole. See, the breeze is up today. Hasn't really been too much of a factor over the first couple of days here.
Now leading it by 1. Kay Cockrell watching. Lexi Thompson.
And I'm sure she has no idea she is leading by 1. That's a 7-iron into this tricky hole. Not much room behind this hole.
That's about as good as she could have drawn that up right there. I mean, you'll never know with Lexi. She always has these kind of quirky leans, and you never know, but that was about as good as it gets.
That's going to be for 4 in a row as we take you back to the 9th.
Segunda on the tee.
I think it's a good time to have a wedge in your hand coming off your first bogey of the day. You know, the wind has picked up, but she has an opportunity to put a good swing on it and maybe get back on track.
Well, I could understand the final words from the caddy there, perfecto. He loves this, whatever they've decided.
Should set up nicely to her eye, the front right hole location. She likes to let the ball drip a little bit to the right.
Doesn't like it. Too far left. Too much of a bailout now, leaving herself a tricky putt. That flag on the front right, the water does loom.
Coming off the birdie at 7, Maya Stark on the tee at the 8th.
Well, this one back into the wind. So trying to maximize as much as you can out of this tee shot, and that's just fine.
It's an important hole, as we saw with Carlotta not too long ago, to hit a good tee shot, because the green is about as tricky as it gets.
It is, and you know, the green, you have the slope from front to back, but you also have the drop-offs on either side too, with a longer club in your hand. Not always easy. Plenty of room down the right side though. Not so much down the left with the bunker on there that comes into play. The one on the right won't into the wind. That'll do nicely. She does have a nice little soft fade on her shots.
She was a little concerned about the length, she said, when she saw all the moisture this week.
Well, it played really, really long, especially on Friday, but it's firmed up a good bit, especially on those tee shots.
Lexi Thompson with 3 straight birdies to take the lead, and she's got a short one coming up for a 4th in a row.
Hi, I'm Paul Riley, Chair and CEO of Raymond James Financial. Once again, Raymond James is honored to be the presenting sponsor of the Pelican Women's Championship. We continue to partner with the LPGA because of our shared commitment to supporting women's professional development in the workplace and in our communities. At Raymond James, we focus on providing women with the tools and resources to create lasting impacts and with the support to help grow their businesses. From everyone at Raymond James, thank you to the staff and volunteers for making this event possible and for allowing us the opportunity to be a part of something so special. Wishing the best of luck to all players in the field this week, and once again, thank you very much.
What?
Gotcha.
Oh, I see. Because of the tape. I got it. Got it. Sorry. Yep. I wasn't.
At the par 4 8th, Lexi Thompson for a 4th straight birdie and a 2-shot lead.
Morgan, you said it. You could probably not have placed it any better on this green. It is virtually a straight putt, maybe just pulling to the left slightly. She's aiming at the right edge. Gorgeous.
4 birdies in a row and just 4 wonderful putts, 3 in a row of just about that length. Ball striking is spot on and rolling in the putts, not showing so much confidence, really.
To the 9th.
Carlota Segunda for a birdie.
She has a lot to navigate here. It's up and then down, and the grain wants to take it to the front of the green.
Leaving herself a little bit of work to do. We have seen players chip the ball and putt the ball into the water on different holes around this golf course. The greens can be very difficult and make people look foolish. So when you see a player come up shy like that, you know, there are a lot of reasons to be cautious around here, Angela.
Yeah, this is, you know, this entire green is really difficult to putt. Even though you have a wedge in your hand on the tee, the wind's down, it's across, and Nelly hit a great shot in here. Probably has one of the better looks of the day.
Just running out of speed. It's going to be a 3 for Nelly. Good first 9 holes, though. 3 under par when this goes in. It's par 35, 35. So 32 on the front for Nelly. Been working hard on her game. Has had 3 weeks off. Said she needed the rest. Has been pushing a little bit too much since coming back from that surgery earlier in the season.
Morgan, there's that 8th green you were talking about.
And it's so narrow, and you can see it dips off on both sides as well, as Karen mentioned.
And Allison Corpus, Karen, she talked about it. She played with Alim Kim and Maya Stark the first couple of days. She said, I went first a lot. She's going first here.
Yeah, but it's not by much first here, though, and most of it is just because of the angle that she has to that flag. And she's got 194. And this will be her 4 hybrid. She's got a slight upslope. It's not a massive one, but it will put a bit more loft on this shot. Because this hole is back into the wind, you're not going to get as much release on this green as you would have done the first 2 days.
It'll just trickle just to the back of the green. It's not the end of the world over there.
Seems like she struck it well, didn't she?
Yeah, it looked like what she was trying to do maybe played for a little bit too much wind.
Well, Carlota Segunda got off to such a good start today with those 4 consecutive birdies. Doesn't want to end this 9 with 2 straight bogeys. Dropped a shot at 8. And this to avoid the 3 putt at 9. And that's a huge mistake on a hole which is only measuring 120 yards today. Let's go to 8.
And the 2nd for Maya Stark.
Stark's got a 4-iron in her hand, but it's on a really steep upslope. Going to have to work hard to keep this one down, which she has done. This is from 191.
A little bit of a double cross, kind of similar to what she did back on the 6th hole. That's going to leave a little bit trickier of a shot to just show off her short game again here.
Pitched in here at the 8th yesterday for birdie. Get you over just a few steps away to the 9th tee.
Only 3 rounds this year because of the washout on Thursday. It's the first year the 9th hole has not played under 100 yards in any of the rounds of the Pelican Women's Championship. Still, it's a good birdie opportunity with a wedge in your hand.
And there's the big American flag that's near the clubhouse. You can see in the distance, and players and caddies will refer to that. It feels like the wind's starting to kind of switch around a little more coming out of the west, which is right to left. Still hurting a little bit.
There it is, just on the other side of Poinsettia Road.
Actually, excuse me, just right to left. And this is a wedge. Lexi just trying to get a good feel for the rhythm, and and sort of the pace that she wants to hit this with. I think it's very understandable if the ball ends up hole high left, and that would be a really good shot. And that's the spot.
Nicely done there by Lexi. While we have a moment, let's go up to the booth.
Tom, thank you. The final day of the final regular season event of 2022 on the LPGA Tour. Next week, 60 players will vie for a $2 million first prize at the CME Group Tour Championship. But Morgan, whether you're a fresh-faced rookie or a crusty veteran, we have learned, haven't we, just how hard it is to win. 6 years since Carlota Segunda has won. It's been 3.5 years nearly since Lexi won. And for Nelly Korda, here she is trying to win for the first time in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. You made this point earlier when we weren't on the air, that the most recent winner on this leaderboard is Maya Stark on the top part, and she's a rookie and has actually made it to CME with only about half of a rookie season. It's been very impressive what we've seen from the rookie class and all the first-time winners this year. But I would definitely look to the veterans coming down the stretch today to, as we've seen, anything can happen on this golf course. The 16th hole is really challenging. The 17th and then the 18th has been one of the hardest holes all week and every year that we have played here. So I think there's a lot of fireworks that could happen coming down the stretch, and there are definitely some birdies to be made. I've been very impressed with what we've seen from Lexi so far. Carlota stumble a little bit. I think that could be a really big missed putt for Carlota on the 9th hole. Be interesting to see how she responds to that. And watch out for the rookies, just tailing by just a little bit.
Battling the course, battling each other, battling nerves. Here's Stark's third at 8.
And I think she can land this one sort of halfway between the hole and the edge of the green. She does generate a lot of spin. There you go.
Nearly did it again like she did yesterday here. It was the 17th hole yesterday for these two. And this got her into the final pair. And Morgan, this was a touch of class.
Yeah, that's it. Playing with Allisen Corpuz, they were both kind of fighting for the lead at this point, and honestly, with the wedge in her hand, what I've seen in half a season so far from Maya Stark, I've been exceptionally impressed. She has a lot of creativity and a lot of touch, and a little bit Lydia-esque.
That's a good comparison. 22 years old, played at Oklahoma State, from Sweden. She failed at second stage last year, and so she didn't have her LPGA card, went to Europe, but she won the co-sanctioned event there that Tom mentioned, the ISPS Hand to World Invitational, co-sanctioned LET and LPGA Tour. She accepted membership after she won. She played, by the way, that final day with Allisen Corpuz, with whom she's playing again today, and Allison would love Karen to follow her into the winner's circle.
She would. I mean, she's been playing, pretty consistently. She's had that second place, and she's had an 8th place finish as well. She's been playing okay. I mean, she said in her press conference how she thought she would have to be really struggling by this stage of the proceedings to keep her card, but she isn't. But that was a bit aggressive going up that slope into the grain there.
That looked like a last-second thought creeped into her head there, Karen, of hit it through this fringe. I've got to hit it harder, and that just exploded off of her putter face.
7 pars to start, but a struggle at the 8th for Corpuz coming up. First over to the 9th.
Where Lexi Thompson is looking at her birdie.
Tom with a wedge in her hand, probably a little further away, obviously, than she would have liked. But it's kind of a nervy little tee shot with a wedge and the wind helping right to left. It was smart play to end up on the fat part of the green. And it's left her pretty close to 30 feet with a gently moving left to right putt the entire way. Older brother Nicholas very involved in reading the greens. He does the old-fashioned plumb bob with the wedge in his hand. They've played a ton of golf together through the years.
I think it's very comfortable, Kay, for
Yes.
Lexi having her brother on the bag, and sometimes her other brother Curtis has also caddied for her a good bit as well.
And like a lot of young girls growing up who have brothers, try to keep up with them, try to beat them, and it's made her the better player for it.
It's a good little sibling rivalry, isn't it?
Nicholas, of course, professional, winner of the New Zealand Open in his career, which was a big win for him. Corn Ferry victory.
Alison Corpuz for par at the 8th.
I know there's a lot of golf to be played, but I think this is a big putt for Alison. She's had a number of birdie opportunities so far on this front side, hasn't been able to capitalise, and now she's being tested with a par putt. I think if she was to be able to get this one to disappear, I think things would settle down immensely for her. But
yeah, so far it just seems like one of those days where, I mean, that was a little bit of a tentative putt, unsure, a little uncertainty.
First dropped shot of the day for Corpuz. 1 up when the day began, now 4 in arrears to the 9th.
What's happening with Maria Farsi, Kay?
Hoping for a lot better play than she's seen so far. Started out with a positive note, a birdie at the first, but bogeys at 2, 5, and 6 have really derailed her, and she's not been able to turn it around yet.
Maria trying to play her way into next week. Currently projected 66, so needs a few birdies. Tough to tell how many she needs, maybe only one. We'll keep an eye on that.
Maya Stark will be there after her incredible rise this summer. This for par.
yeah, not a huge amount in this one, but you do have to pay attention to the slight little break that it does have to the left. There you go.
She has gotten it up and down from all over Bel Air, Florida. Just a 3 square mile area. This little town near Tampa. Lexi by 2.
Shot, just keep it just a touch right of the hole. Wind straight down. Yeah, no real curvature in it.
The defending champion Nelly Korda at the 10th, where Angela Stanford is watching.
She has 174 to the flag, downwind.
She need to land it on top, Angela?
Downwind, possibly. It's 154 to that spot.
Don't hit the downslope.
Oh, it did hit the downslope, but just had enough spin. This is gonna keep getting better. We saw earlier in the week, Jody Ewart Shadoff hit the downslope and it just rappelled all the way over the green. That was fantastic.
Back to the 9th.
And Maya Stark on the tee.
And this is a wedge. The wind is into and slightly off the right.
She's an aggressive player, Karen. She
It's
goes
an aggressive line.
Yeah, she's going to get away with it, I think. It's a tougher hole location than we had in the final round last year, but we've actually seen more birdies here, so players have figured this hole out. This is the 15th and the most recent winner on the LPGA Tour. Gemma Driver, who broke through in Japan last week. This was a moment ago. And Oh, what an effort that is from Gemma. Spoke to her before her round today. I said, how are you feeling? You exhausted? She said, I am exhausted, but I'm loving it.
It's a great run for the UK. 3 of the last 4 winners have come from there. A couple of English women, Charlie Hall and Jody Ewart-Shadoff, and a Scot. And so Carlota Segunda, Angela, trying to keep this European theme going late in the 2022 season. She has to right the ship here, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's in a good spot. She had a great kick. Her tee ball, Nellie's just plopped in the fairway, just stopped. And Segunda's ran like 30 yards. So, I mean, she has, you know, Nellie had 176 and Segunda's looking at 146. So
she may be able to land it all the way down to the flat.
That's what I was thinking, Morgan. She has more of an opportunity to just go right at the flag.
She likes it.
Okay. Rolled her ankle last week in Japan, so she's walking gingerly. She's got that ankle taped. And she could really use that birdie to drop after falling 3 behind to 9.
And Corpus tee shot.
This also a wedge, Tom, and quite an aggressive line here too.
Yeah, one of the best we've seen.
Takes a couple of rookies, Tom, to take the aggressive line.
No fear.
Lexi, older brother Nick, on the tee at the 10th. One back when the round began, now leading it by 2, and a comfort level, not just with Nick on the bag, but in Florida, golf course where she's played well before, Morgan.
Yeah, and a golf course that, like right here, doesn't really take one of her biggest weapons, her driver, out of her hands, Kay. But she's got no trouble with that bunker on the left, should easily be able to carry it. Fairly generous fairways around this golf course. And she is just, she said coming into this week that she was feeling really, really comfortable with her golf swing, and it is showing.
It's time to take a look at this swing control presented by National Car Rental.
And of course, we talk about this club, the driver, and we'll pay attention to that left foot. It's part of her power move. She gets all the way to the top, and she really sits into the ground to start the downswing. Then she pushes off the ground and gets that left side out of the way. It's how she gets the strength of her lower body out to the club. Think about Laura Davies had a very similar move as well. Way to generate a lot of power.
Swing control brought to you by National Car Rental. Even has her little pup, Leo, out here today. Her folks, Scott and Judy, walking and cheering her on as she tries to win again. 9.
Maya Stark for birdie.
I think because of the influence of the bunker that's right behind her, the initial roll will be to the right, but as it approaches the hole, little turn left.
Oh, well
there you go.
read, Karen. Well, if the commentary doesn't work out, you'd be a great caddy.
I have a feeling that Maya Stark's not going to go away this afternoon. I think she is going to hang tough. She is a fiery competitor with tremendous talent. She's already won once this season, and I just love her aggressive nature.
Here's Carlota Segunda, birdied her first 4 holes, but a couple of bogeys have dropped her from 2 ahead to 3 behind. Angela for birdie here.
This is a great look. Probably 8 feet, a little uphill, maybe a little into the green. You know, the one who's watching the most is Nellie, because her mark is just beside Carlota's ball. So Nellie's paying attention, but
I feel like that was a putt for Carlotta's confidence. She maybe needed to see go in, Angela.
127 starts since her last victory almost 6 years ago to the day. 9 again.
Corpus to follow in Stark with the birdie.
shorter distance, and this one is going to move to the right. Now that Maya Stark started to make some putts, get on a bit of a roll, Corpus is going to feel a little bit of pressure to keep up, and this club really letting her down today.
All right, Nelly was paying attention, as you said here, and this for birdie to get within one of Lexi.
Talked to her caddy, Jason, earlier today before the round. He said, we're due for a good Sunday. It's been a while, and we are due for a big Sunday round.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, you've got players like Jarena Mendoza, number 104 on the CME points list. Morgan, you've known her a long time. She's got a chance to move inside the top 100 today.
She's putting together a really solid round of golf. Beautiful control with her iron right there.
That'll be for birdie to get to 2 under on the day, and probably, at least at that moment, get her inside number 100. Today's coverage is brought to you by Konica Minolta. To learn more, visit rethinkwork.com. By CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. And by Voice Caddy, golf experience advanced.
So she was not. Oh, there are only 6 laps left.
Landing at about 52, that's good.
52?
Yeah.
Backhoe location at 10. Lexi Thompson's lead is 1.
Yeah. That feels now.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think it's 98% down.
Yeah, this is just it's an awkward second shot because you cannot see the bottom of the flagstick. And as we've talked about, you have to trust the number. And now you have the extra element of wind, which is helping and left to right.
Almost an audible deep breath, Kay.
Yeah, well, athletes are trained to keep breathing and those extra deep breaths to stay relaxed. That from 159 yards. Might have pulled it a little.
It's going to be just fine.
And you, as a player, you don't know how close or how far it is. You just have to rely on some crowd reaction.
So she's going to like it when she sees it, I believe. Take a look at our insights by KPMG. Most top 10s without a win since the start of 2020. And Morgan, Lexi Thompson has been knocked down by this game a lot. She just keeps getting back up.
She's probably one of the hardest workers, if not the hardest worker out here. But that just shows her consistency. I mean, she is always putting herself within the last few groups going into the final day. And it's very impressive.
Well, Maria Fassi made a big back nine move in Cincinnati to get her career best finish in an individual event earlier this summer. And here she is with her second of the 10th.
Yeah, she has just not been dialed in with her irons for the most part today. She's either underhit it or overhit it.
She looked like she was trying to get that to fall a little bit to the right. It's going to get a little more challenging as that rolls down the slope.
So Jarena Mendoza with a bogey at 15 to knock her outside the projected top 100.
I think that surprised me as well from even in here. You'd think that putt should break a little bit towards the front of the green. Almost looked like it broke left.
At this exact moment, she is number 100 in the projected CME points standings. Top 100 after today's final round. Will be exempt next year on the LPGA Tour. It's been a nice little flurry from Maya Stark. She's on the tee at 10.
Well, it's a nice hole. Have a little bit of down breeze helping you out here too.
Birdie.
Nice to see a little bit of tumble as well on that tee shot.
Morgan birdies at 7 and 9, but the up and down at 8 for Maya Stark was huge too, wasn't it?
Of course. Anytime you kind of mishit a shot a little bit. I mean, she missed the mark by at least a club there. A little bit of a double cross, and to save par on that, one of the most difficult holes on this golf course.
How about Allison Corpuz and maybe her mindset now 9 holes into her final round?
Well, she knows, you know, if she wants to go ahead and win, she's got to try and make a few birdies, and that means that she has to start making putts. The trouble is, when you start trying to make them and the urgency increases, that they become even more difficult to hole.
She knows that she's in the CME Group Tour Championship, so it's about the win for Allison Corpuz now. It's time to take a closer look at a few significant holes here at Pelican Golf Club, presented by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Morgan, they have reached the back 9.
Yeah, and we say that anything can happen here coming down the stretch, and anything did happen last year with Nelly coming to this hole with the lead, ended up making a triple bogey. Looks like a fairly benign short par 4, but it is playing as the 3rd most challenging hole today. It's a very shallow green, little bit elevated from the players, and a lot more wind today makes this wedge that much more difficult. Really have to control your spin. It's quite easy. It's only about 4 paces over that bunker, so it's easy to spin it back into that deep face bunker and make it very challenging up and down. Now the finishing hole here at Pelican Golf Club, the 18th hole, that right bunker not in play. The wind will make this tee shot a little bit more challenging, but it's a fairly generous landing area. This has been the hardest hole all week, playing more than half a stroke over par today alone. The hole location in its traditional back right brings all the water into play. And you might look and say, oh, I can bail out left, but it is nearly an impossible shot from long left, everything running away from you right towards the water. So anything truly can happen on these last 2, even the last 3 holes here at Pelican Golf Club.
Fossey with a delicate putt at the 10th, up and then back down.
It bobbled a little bit through the fringe, but well done. Tough putting into the grain, tough to judge just how much it will bobble.
Lizette Salas broke a long victory drought earlier this season. She's playing the 16th. She had gone 8 years without a victory, teamed up with Jennifer Kupcho to win the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational, playing well again.
And she said that really fired her up. I mean, I think, too, the Sunday round that she had in Arkansas, I mean, she's putting together some really wonderful final rounds that have moved her well up the leaderboard.
11.
Carlota Segunda safely away. It's her 2nd from the fairway.
She has 133. She's going with a wedge. Maybe a little breeze into her off the right.
She's muttering away to herself, and she's missed it in a tough spot there.
She looked so in control to start the round, and seems like she's making a few maybe mental errors here in the last few holes.
Lexi for birdie at 10.
That was a very tough putt, Morgan. It had a lot of break and a lot of speed.
Yeah, you can see she was quite tentative with it, knowing that it is going to be fast. Looks like her putter's aimed just a little bit left. Maybe catches it just in the bottom part of the putter, but right there it looks like it's going to go in. And then it just wiggles left. Maybe a touch of a misread, because that did look like where she was lined up to start that putt.
The 3rd time this summer she's had a back 9 lead. Back to the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Here at Grand Rapids, and Meyer as well.
2nd shot for Nelly at 11. It's a lot better than Carlota's going to stay there. They've put it right by that ridge on the left of the green. Cheeky little hole location from the officials. 13th. Second shot here for Gabby Lopez. Easier hole location here than Morgan.
Yeah, this is a tough green, but where this hole is, it's not really around any of those large ridges, and playing a little bit downwind off the left, I think, would be a bit easier.
You can get highlights, interviews, and features from all your favorite players. Check it out at LPGA.com. So Lexi with the near make for birdie at 10, stays at 13 under. Overnight leader Allison Corpuz back in the fairway with her second shot to come.
Well, she's got a long way here. Only got 185 left to the hole. But really the number you want to think about, because I don't think she can carry the 5 iron she has out all the way to the flag and get it to stop with it being downwind. You've got to land it just on that top tier and get it to fall down the hill down towards the hole. That would be a shot of about, what we're looking at, 168 from here. Going on a little draw.
I don't think we're all too worried about this part of her game, but what you can tend to do is when you're missing putts, you start to press, and that's what she can't do. Got that unfortunate bounce that we were talking about off that downslope on the 10th. Carried it about 5 paces too far.
Lexi off the tee at 11.
Yeah, pretty wide fairway, Tom. A little wind from right to left, and that's why she played it down the right-hand side. That'll be fine.
Yeah, opens up the green a little from there. Couple of bunkers to avoid, but they're out of range this week with the golf course being soft. Let's go back to 10.
And the second for Stark.
Little story from here. Stark only has 155 left. She's got a 9 iron out, ball, and a little bit of an upslope. I think she can land this closer to the hole.
Yeah, this should come back as we saw Nellie's do. Yeah, that'll keep getting better. Lovely shot.
She shot 63, which was 10 under to come from a couple back on Sunday to win in Northern Ireland. Was that Salas to get to 7 under? Moves her into the top 10.
Back over at the 11th. This is Nelly for birdie.
Tom, this green is running away from her right here. Carlota just hit a beautiful chip shot to about 6 feet, and I think Nelly was watching that one too.
See if she learned anything.
Give it enough pace.
It's evidently not one that she could get carried away with. And you've got to play smart out here. You've got to know when to play defensive golf and when to attack. And Nelly knows how to do that. It is going to be a thrilling finish here. It looks like it. Thompson and Cord are battling away at the top.
That's like the size of Lily.
Back at the 11th. This was just a moment ago while we were away. Segunda for par. Yeah, that one is a good up and down for Carlota, who's dropped a few shots in the last several holes. And she knows how important that was. A little fist bump. Lexi just waiting back in the fairway.
Yes.
From the right hand side of the fairway. And that's what she's been doing for the bulk of this tournament, taking more club, gripping down on it.
Yes, that's beautiful.
The flag is just to the right of the bunker. That green box behind the green.
Yeah, playing it to the right because the slope kicks a little right to left and the wind is blowing right to left.
Got the Lexi lean going. Is it too far right?
Yeah, a little too far. She missed her target.
Oh, and short.
Yeah, that wasn't what she had envisioned.
Did the wind get up there, Kay?
Well, it could have switched around a little and hurt more than strictly right to left.
Maybe just a little bit steep into that one. Left the face open just a hair.
Birdie putt from Maya Stark at 10.
Some left turn in this, and as it makes that left turn, it's downhill.
Wow. That would have gotten her to within one.
Karen said it breaks a little bit. Didn't quite play enough break. Looked like a good stroke. I love watching her reactions.
You don't really have to wonder what she's thinking, do you? To 12. Still got that Lamborghini Urus on the line, but more to the point, a tournament trophy to be decided here in the next couple of hours. Nelly on the tee. She went along here last year, made bogey in contention, battling with Lexi in the final group. That will give her a putt to tie the lead. We saw Alison Corpuz go way over the green at the 10th. This for par.
Well, displayed really great touch to have this opportunity for a par. Good looking stroke.
All right.
Finally made one.
Got a putt to go in, Karen. Yep. Sometimes maybe that's all you need. Even though it's for par, you see something go in the hole.
As we take you back to the 12th, Morgan, this is wide and shallow.
It's 48 yards from the left side of this green to the right side of this green. There's a big dip in the middle separating the upper left side from the upper right side. The whole location today on the very back right, that upper right tier. It's a funky little hole.
Well, Angela, we saw the fist pump from Carlota when she got the par putt to drop. Her idol is Rafa Nadal, and it's like she's had her serve broken here, and she's just trying to battle back.
Yeah, Grant, that up and down on the last hole was extremely important. It was a great chip. Made the putt. Now she has a 9-iron here. 143. Wind is helping off her right.
Yeah, I think after missing those 3 putts in a row, Angela, that was a big one to stop the bleeding, so to speak. She can take dead aim with this one. Oh, she's not happy with that one. In the water? That just, I mean, had to have come a little bit maybe from the inside. Caught it heavy, a little bit of an open-faced push. She has not seemed comfortable since she stepped on that 8th tee.
With the lead by 2 at one point. So Nelly's got a good look at birdie at 12 as we go back to 11.
Yeah, Lexi, but a bit of work to do.
And she's normally a pretty quick player, but she's taken some extra time on this. And I think just trying to get comfortable with the line, which overall should be a little left to right, coming off that rise in the green that's left of the flag. And then really tapping into the distance that she has done so well with throughout the week. This is a 20 pace putt from ball to hole. And she gave that a really good run.
Yeah, her pace has been excellent all week so far. These players knew that these greens would challenge them, and I do think that there's a lot of similarities to next week's golf course as well.
So the third shot for Segunda at 12.
You know, Grant, I wonder, she's missed a couple of shots left, and we've seen that. And, you know, she usually likes to hit a fade. I'm wondering if she was just guarding against a little bit of wind coming off her right. She didn't want to lose another one left.
That will be a long putt for bogey as we go to 11.
And Maya Stark on the tee.
Back into the wind, Tom.
Heading left.
It is, and if she has had a miss today with the driver, it's been to the left.
You know, when I was with her on the range earlier, she was like, I'm trying to straighten it out. It's going both ways. I'm like, well, it looked pretty good from what we saw yesterday, but something in her head was telling her that maybe she's a little squirrely with the driver.
Maybe a little blocked out. Well, time for a snack. Watch some golf.
So did Carlotta not clear land on that shot?
Not even close.
No. Holy moly.
Yeah, holy moly.
That was a very bad word she yelled out.
Yeah,
loved
it.
That was a very... Do we not apologize if
Por
it's in another
favor.
language?
Right? You don't, apparently. And then she doesn't
Lo
get fined
siento.
either.
Lo siento.
Lo siento para la palabra.
Lexi Thompson here at the 11th for a par.
And Tom, this is a defining putt for her. She's been putting beautifully this week and in general this year. But as we know, the back nine, for anybody, these putts get tougher. Can she continue to make these on the back nine on Sunday?
The answer there was no. Did you see anything in the stroke? It didn't look that bad.
I'm not sure if she was playing for a little right to left break or if she just pushed it. Hard to tell from our angle.
Well, there's a tie at the top, but Nelly Korda does have a putt coming up at the 12th, and it's very much back and forth between Lexi and Nelly, the top two ranked Americans in the world. Let's go to 12.
And a bogey putt for Segunda. That was a moment ago. So 4 birdies to start her round, and now 4 over par in her last 5 holes. All right, so we are live now. Nelly Korda to take the lead for the first time today outright.
It's a great look. Should be pretty straight.
It's kind of the same thing she did on this hole yesterday. It broke away from the water. She didn't believe that. And same thing here on 12. Again today. Just these greens are quite subtle. But I think it is interesting. You see players like Nelly and Lexi, who obviously play a lot on this type of grass, grew up on this type of grass. And then you see somebody like Maya Stark in there who actually said, I don't play. I pay no attention to different types of grasses. I think she may as her career continues to progress, but it's an interesting attitude to have.
Yeah, she's fun to watch. Tie at the top, back at the 11th.
This is Alison Corpus.
From 151, ball is above her feet, which will help her kind of move this from right to left. Try and get it close to that hole. And maybe try and capitalise on a little bit of momentum from that good par save at the previous hole. She faded that, held it up into the wind.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Yeah.
She's such an even-keel player, Karen. I don't know that, obviously, she wants to make more putts, but she doesn't seem to look too flustered.
Not one bit. Really cool out here. Stark shot. She is blocked out by that little pine tree that's right ahead of her. She's going to have to keep this one low. She's got 128. She's going to play this with a 7-iron. And where this ball's going to land short of the green, it might want to kick it to the right. So she's going to try and get a bit draw spin on it. Oh, I think that just clipped a little branch.
Yeah, one of those low ones.
Didn't look like it took all that much off of it, but just enough. That's a tough spot to miss it there.
Yeah, there's so much room out to the right on that 11th hole. But if you go down the left, you bring these trees into play. And let's just watch and see if that did clip the branch. I think it did. Yeah, just a few of those pine leaves. Is that what you call them? Well, we've had 11 Rolex first-time winners, but let's look at the rookies to win during the 2022 season. Taya Titico has had an amazing year. A couple of victories. That Maya Stark, we talked about the fact that she was a member of the Ladies European Tour and took LPGA membership with that victory in Northern Ireland. And then Ayaka Furue, also a winner during the swing through Europe for the LPGA this summer. She won in Scotland.
Well, coming off her first bogey of the day, Lexi Thompson tied for the lead. She tees it up at the 12th.
No, I like normal. Right at it. Correct.
I think in this instance, it's fortunate for Lexi to go second, and she just got to watch Maria Fassi hit a 9-iron successfully just past the flagstick. So they're both, they basically hit at the same distance. So Lexi knows this 9-iron is good. Wind is helping right to left. So just has to ensure she doesn't pull it at all, because the wind will exaggerate that. Looks like a pretty good line. Is it enough?
Oh, is it going to stay?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's going to go back in the water.
Gone.
Wow. And that was on the green. She needed another foot, and that would have stayed. She can drop up there just short of the green.
It's a red line, not yellow.
This game can be so cruel. If that carried probably half a pace more, it would have been safe.
Do you think that was wrong club, a little misstrike, or a touch of wind there, Kay?
I think it was a little bit of a misstrike, or just taking a little bit off it, because it was plenty of club.
We have seen that all week, really all 3 years we played here. Balls finding the green and then finding the water.
And we've talked about needing to control your spin on these soft greens. I mean, that is absolutely inches from being just below the hole with a 10-footer for birdie.
And no one spins it more than Lexi. So she'll be pitching for par. See what happens if you take it to the 11th.
And Maya Stark a moment ago, third shot.
Looking for that low checky one, but pitched on that sprinkler head.
It pitched on the sprinkler head, took all the spin off it.
How unlucky was that?
Oh, my word.
We go from watching Lexi spin it back into the water to that. A lot of bad luck here, these last couple of shots. But, I mean, I don't know if she knew that was there or not, or thought that she needed to carry that. The odds of hitting that are so small.
I think she knew that they were there. She walked up to the green, Morgan, but I think she didn't carry it far enough. I think her plan had to be to land it on the green. She does generate enough spin. I think she was thinking of getting it to pitch about 3 yards onto the green, so she missed her target a little bit.
See if this rattles her at all.
Hasn't wasted any time getting here, though.
Oh, wow, great look. It's going to be a bogey, though, for Stark, and you have to go back to the tee shot, really. I mean, she got unlucky with the third. She thought she had it as well. She got unlucky with the third shot, but the mistake came from the tee. So this one to drop just the one shot here. So she's going to fall back to 10 under par, a couple behind Nelly Korda. Lexi is in trouble there at the 12th. So Nelly looking likely to have the lead on her own here shortly.
Over at the 18th, Hannah Green, number 18 in the race to the CME Globe, having a terrific year. Hasn't missed a cut all season. That's going to get better. That's going to be a putt for a 65.
She's been so close. It's hard to believe that she hasn't won this season. She's given herself a lot of opportunities and played really solid golf.
Some Corpus now for a birdie at 11.
And she would have had a good idea on the line from watching Stark's ball roll up towards the hole. Let's see if she can get that good roll that she played on the previous hole and put it into action on this one too, and get herself back to where she started the day at.
Yep.
So she's a 10 under par. Alison Corpus still in with a chance here. Playing in that final group. Big smile. Good drive by Nelly at the 13th. This is her second.
She has 139 downwind. She has a wedge in her hand. Can definitely go at the hole here.
Yeah. When she twirls the club in her hand, you know it's a good shot, but that was a delayed twirl, so I couldn't quite tell. Maybe she didn't quite know until it was at the top of its ball flight.
Nelly's about to be in the lead alone, it would appear. Hannah Green is going to have this to tie Morgan Matrot for the best score among those who are finished.
Pay attention to how much that 4-footer just broke for Hannah. That's what the leaders are going to face. A pretty severe hole location there on 18.
Lexi had 2 putts between 4 and 5 feet. 1 in regulation, 1 in the playoff. Missed them both and lost to Nelly. 13.
Segunda second. Yeah. I'll give her a chance. But it's been costly over the last 5 holes for the Spaniard.
And costly tee shot for Lexi that spun back in the water. This is her third at the par 3 12th.
And she's pulled out putter. I'm all for putting, usually off the greens, but in this case, it's so steep. But Morgan, wow, that was impressive. She's comfortable with that club off these putting surfaces, and it sure paid off there.
Yeah, I don't know that would be a club I would have even thought to use in that situation, but it's what Lexi practices, and like you said, Kay, what she's comfortable with. Very well done.
How big of an advantage to be able to hit a third shot from right there by the green.
Huge advantage, and minimizes the damage. You think, Carlota didn't carry, had to go all the way back to the tee, and really just sneaking away with the bogey as opposed to a bigger number on the card.
Lexi will be there next week as an incredible LPGA season leads to the CME Group Tour Championship, the largest single prize in women's golf, $2 million to the winner. Our coverage begins Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Golf Channel and Peacock. Terry Gannon comes in to join the crew. Take you to the 15th.
Just a moment ago, Yulu has talked about how stressful this week is because of her position in the race to the CME Globe. You saw 98. She's 1 over par today and may well be back to level par pretty quickly, but she is projected 96th, so she is okay for the top 100 and keeping her playing privileges for next season. Let's take a look at that race to the CME Globe, because we're also watching the top 63. The reason that it's 63, it was top 60, but 3 players have not entered for next week, so we've moved it down to 63rd. Ari Jutanagan is hanging on despite a miscut. Stacey Lewis didn't finish well today at 18, but she's still in and looking forward to making that drive. Maria Fassi has fallen out with the way she's played today. We'll keep an eye on Fassi. Talking about driving down to Naples, Grant.
How quickly could you get there in the Lamborghini Urus? Final pair with 2 more chances, Morgan, to drive away in style.
It's something that I think every single player, and especially maybe the caddy even as well, has thought about on this tee. But if there's a few people to not, it might be these last couple groups. There's a lot on the line, more than just a Lamborghini.
Corpuz with the par save at 10, Karen, backing it up with the birdie at 11.
Yeah, it's almost like finally when the first putt went in, it was like just so okay, there is still a hole there. I can still make putts. I'm okay. Everything's okay. She has an 8-iron in her hands here. And she has been playing that little patented fade, so expect this one to be held up a little bit into that wind.
I don't think the wind bothers Alison Corpuz from Hawaii very much, does it?
Well, if anybody's used to it, she should be. That is for sure. Also, the tempo of her swing helps with the wind as well.
A little bit of a tug.
Yeah, got that turning over with the wind too. Almost a natural reaction watching where Lexi was.
Yeah, because they would have been standing there, definitely paying attention, and she'll get a drop from the grandstand.
2 good looks here. First of all, Segunda. And that gets her to 9 under, takes a little bit of the sting off those 2 bogeys and a double. At the moment, she's got a lot of work to do to catch the player she's playing alongside, Nelly Corder, who's still got a good chance, but we will go to 12.
And the tee shot for Maya Stark.
Aggressive player, expect her to take this one right at it. Wind heavily from the right, though. Got to try and hold it just a little bit to stop that wind from taking it too much.
You said it, Morgan. She tells you what she's thinking.
Yeah, that might funnel down a little bit. Oh, no, it stayed. That'll be just fine. Not, but I think a little bit of a compensation from watching what happened to Lexi in the group in front of them.
And you can play it from there. 13.
Here's Nelly for birdie. Well, it was a great look. It was the perfect spot to leave it. And Nelly gets to 13 under par. She has a 2-shot lead, trying to successfully defend here at the Pelican Women's Championship.
honestly, even if you landed it at like 40, it's into the grain right in there, so it should chew pretty decent.
Second at 13 for Lexi Thompson.
Do you think it's a pretty solid one?
Yes, I like it.
This wind is helping again, and she's got a wedge in her hand. As you heard, this 142 going to play quite a bit less. She's looking to land this about 138.
He said it's going to chew. That's golf terminology that I haven't heard too often.
Yeah, stop it quickly, right? Oh, that'll chew.
How about that?
She nearly holed it on 18. What, in round one? Nearly holes that one. What a bounce back.
Yeah, 2 bogeys, and that'll be a birdie for Lexi, so she'll get back to 12 under par within 1 of the lead. Let's take a look at that again. It was just munching on the flag, wasn't it?
Just good, controlled pitching wedge, it looks like here from the bottom of her club. And, I mean, beautifully judged with distance control.
Back at the 12th, some tough spots here, starting with Corpuz.
Well, she's dropped it into sort of the longer grass. I mean, it's a little bit fluffy back here, but it allows her the opportunity to feel like she can slide the club head under the ball and get this to get a little bit higher in the air and land on that downslope and trickle down towards the hole.
Is she on any kind of a downslope here, Karen?
It's a smidge of one. It's not a huge downslope that would cause her too much of an issue.
Does she have to worry about beyond the hole at all?
No.
Okay.
I spoke too soon.
Okay. Exhale now.
Reasonable effort there. A little bit of a squirrely lie.
Third playing of the Pelican Women's Championship. Special thanks to Marcy Doyle, the executive director, Chris Corr, the course superintendent, Terry Kennelly, director of grounds, their entire team. Justin Sheehan, the director of golf, coach for Brittany Altamari and Elizabeth Zokol and some other players on the LPGA Tour. They roll out the red carpet here, and they have been treated to 2 and almost 3 incredible tournaments. Se Young Kim won it a couple of years ago. Nelly in a playoff last year with 3 other luminaries of the LPGA, and now 22-year-old Maya Stark, a star on the rise. She's got a tough putt here, Karen. How tough?
Well, it's downhill to the hole. It's going to break to the right. But the initial feeling that's going to be in her feet right now is that there's a bit of an upslope to start with. But you need to put all that aside, knowing that this is going to be really quick.
Carlotta had a similar putt, and it didn't break to the right. It kind of hung out left. Pretty good effort. If that had a little bit less pace, I think that would have fallen in on that left side.
She's not going to take the strike, is she? She's going to go out swinging.
So a little bit of separation with Lexi having this tap in to get to 12 under, Nelly at 13, and then Stark and Corpuz both struggling for par at 12.
Well, this is an adrenaline shot and a shot of extra confidence that she badly needed. Really well done.
Got a par 5 coming up at the 14th where the tee has moved up. But I think what's going to be really the holes that we need to watch, 17 and 18. 17 is tough today with that hole location, then 18 always difficult with the water lurking in a very tricky green. So no matter where things stand, as we learned last year, anything can really happen over the final 2 holes. Remember, Nelly made a 7 at the 17th last year.
Couple of 1 putts in a row for Allison Corpuz. 1 for par, 1 for birdie, and this big one for par, the 12th.
You have to think that this one, having just watched Stark's putt sort of break a little bit right as it got to the hole, this one has to go to the left. It's much more comfortable watching the ball move left if you're a right-handed player. We'll just hit it through everything. Just looked a little quick on transition.
Up at the 18th, as we watch players vying for a trophy, there's also the LPGA Tour card at stake. Jarena Mendoza in the water at 18. That was for bogey. Came in number 104 on the CME points list. Was at number 100 when she got to the 18th. But will drop at least 2. She's never lost her card. 11 seasons on tour. Back at the 12th, and Stark eyeing this putt for par.
Plays her putts pretty firm, even these short ones. She's very confident over them, so don't expect her to give too much away here in terms of break.
Wow. You said she's fearless, Morgan. That was not a tap in by any means. She's loving it.
Yeah, and that was considering what we did see down the stretch when she was in contention in Portland. Missed a few putts of that length, so I think that was a very important putt for her.
Yep, and 2 right to left. 250 bucket, 250 is the back edge.
Big drop off the back of this 14th green. Here's Nelly leading it by 1.
I love the aggressive play. Glad she's going at this. She has plenty of length to get there.
Incoming.
Haven't seen her hit one like that yet today.
Yeah, that'll leave a little bit of an awkward pitch. I don't think it's the end of the world from over there.
Harder than what she had at 7, you think, when she got it up and down?
I do think more challenging than what she had at 7, but similar.
13.
It's Maria Fassi for a birdie.
Tom, this is actually for 2 birdies in a row, and to tie Lexi on the hole.
Yeah.
Don't give up on Maria quite yet.
Well, she's got that ability to just suddenly turn it on, and that's what she's going to need to do if she's going to have a chance to win here. The good news is that projects Maria inside the CME Group Tour Championship for next week, which she's in a tie for 4th.
Is that you?
Yeah, 3 behind it, 52 back in, 49 total.
This is our leader, Nelly Korda, with the third shot at the par 5 14th. Angela Stanford is down there watching.
She has 49 yards. The ball's sitting up nicely in the rough, and I would say half of that 49 yards is green. So she has a lot of green to work with. Nice lie.
She generate a little bit of spin on this shot, Ange?
I'm not sure she needs to. If she wants it to roll out, it's okay if she lets it roll a little bit.
Can't go long. And maybe guarding against it. Don't know.
Yeah, there's only 3 paces beyond that flag, and it is an infinity green. Goes way down and over.
A tap-in birdie at the 13th, and now Lexi on the tee at 14.
And she sees nothing but opportunity on this tee and this hole, and that was crushed.
She'll easily be able to get to the green from there.
It is time to, for one last time, update the Aon Risk Reward Challenge for 2022. All season long, players would take their 2 best scores on that week's Aon Risk Reward Challenge hole. Minjee Lee at the Cognizant Founders Cup made an eagle at the 12th in round 2, and then in round 3 she did it again en route to the first of 2 victories in May and June. And after it all sorted out, Minjee Lee, though she's not playing this week, yesterday clinched that $1 million first prize, joining Hannah Green and Carlota Segunda. So Minjee gets her second 7-figure paycheck of the season after winning 1.8 at the U.S. Women's Open. 13.
Got $2 million to the winner next week, so
she could do it again.
Yeah, she could, and she'll be a favorite. Corpus second at 13.
Ball is a bit above her feet here and on a bit of a downslope with this being downwind, but that whole location pretty inviting for a shot of this length. Going with a little fade into this flag.
Stay there. I'm going to go too far by them. Gives herself a good look. Important stretch coming up for Maya Stark. This is a hole where she can take advantage. The same on the next as well, Karen.
Yeah, definitely has a good bit of distance behind her to do that. She's only got 130 left here. This is just a pitching wedge, and does have a little bit of an upslope too, so that's a nice little advantage when you have a downwind shot. Just got to keep some smooth rhythm with this.
I love that one last long look that she takes at the hole before she pulls the club back.
Whoa.
Oh, did she catch that heavy?
Heavy, yep.
You can't afford to make mistakes like that coming down the stretch on a Sunday if you're in contention. And Maya could pay the price here on a hole that has yielded birdies for those players at the top of the leaderboard.
They have come out across West Florida here to watch the world's best in women's golf. And Angela, as veteran of 2 decades of the LPGA Tour, just wonder, as you watch Carlota Segunda here, we saw her. She was the first winner of that Aon Risk Reward Challenge, a 7-figure check. Just doesn't happen in women's golf very often, just a dozen or so times, either a tournament first prize or this Aon Risk Reward Challenge.
Yeah, Grant, it's so great to watch women's golf and where it's going, and you know, players are being rewarded for their great play, and as you can tell with all the fans out here, people, they love watching women's golf right now.
Oh, that was a really good looking stroke from Carlota. Just slid off at the end. She's a little hot under the collar right now, I think. Knows that she's made a few mistakes that might cost her that opportunity to end her victory drought.
It's incredible. We've had 3 players, Segunda, Lexi, and Nelly, who have had 2-shot leads today. Nelly to go back up by 2. Second shot got away from her.
Yeah, just a squirrely shot with her fairway wood there. That putt looked like it was left all the way. I'm not sure if that was a misread or a pull, but didn't look like it started maybe on the line that she wanted.
Opportunity for Lexi and the pair right behind her as we go to 13.
And now Maya Stark's third.
Pretty simple chip here. Means she's can use lots of green. It is into the upslope, so she'll be able to control this one nicely.
Asking for it to go, but it's going to be a 4. She'll remain 10 under.
Yes.
Green has cleared at 14. And Lexi Thompson back off the map with a tap-in birdie at 13. And a chance here, one back. Second shot at the par 5.
She had 3-wood out momentarily, but going instead with this 2-iron that she strikes very well and can get some decent height on it. Wind hurting from the right. 202 to the front, 231 to the hole. If she goes at the flagstick, she's going to have to ensure she carries the bunker that's right on line.
Yeah, I would think that 3-wood would probably be too much for her. Kay would end up over the back of the green, which is the only place you can't hit it.
Yeah, it'd come in too hot. But I think that she knows with now the wind is just...
I mean, that brings back into play.
Yeah, and that's Nicholas confirming that 3-wood's just going to put you over this green, and there's only 3 paces behind this whole location. She'd be better off ending up in the front bunker.
She's probably one of the only players out here with this club in her bag, Kay.
Yeah, it's carving a little bit from left to right, trying to miss the bunker on the left. Yeah, that wasn't probably her best strike, but that's not a bad leave.
I feel like maybe just a little bit of a gap in her bag, honestly, more than anything. The 2-iron probably going to come up a little bit short, and the 3-wood going to be a little bit long, but she played to minimize the damage there and give herself the best opportunity to make birdie.
Over at the 13th, Maya Stark has already tapped in her 4, so this is a 3 here for Corpus.
Downhill putt, Tom, and it's going to break left. And sometimes I like a downhill putt. All you have to do is just think about getting started on your chosen line, and almost the speed takes care of itself. Well, that's very softly hit. Don't think it's going to hold its line, no.
Yeah, looks like maybe a little bit of a wishy putt. She just doesn't look that confident over the ball.
Top tracer technology on the 15th tee. We can watch Nellie's tee shot.
She has a 7-iron, Tom.
It's all about where this lands. I've been watching tee shots today.
Yeah, good golf swing.
And it landed in a good spot. We've seen some players charge the ball through the back of the green, pitching on the downslope. If you pitch short, it can stop short of the green. But that's a good tee shot from Nellie, and a birdie chance coming up.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Raymond James, tailored wealth management, banking, and capital market solutions for clients' unique needs. By Win Grips, the best grips in golf. And by CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. One off the lead, a third shot at the par 5 14 for Lexi Thompson.
Chipping off a really tight lie. 35 paces to the hole. She was looking at a spot to land this about 3/4 of the way on, and hopefully it bounces a couple times and then sits down.
You can really tell from our camera angle that infinity edge behind this whole location. Nicely done.
And so that to tie the lead. The last victory for Lexi Thompson on the LPGA Tour came at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. It was the week after the U.S. Women's Open in 2019, where she was runner-up. She was chasing Zhang Enli 6 on that Sunday. And on the 18th for Eagle, the player who's made more over the last decade than anyone on the LPGA Tour, got that one to drop. It was her 11th title in her first 8 years on the LPGA Tour. It's now been 60 starts for Lexi since her last victory that summer down the shore. With a win, it would be her 12th. As you see, the first since 2019. And she'd moved to 5th in the race to the CME Globe. But Morgan, she did win just a month ago on the Ladies European Tour. She beat Nelly. She beat Brooke Henderson. It was a loaded field, and she got it done on Sunday in New York City.
And she said that gave her a lot of confidence coming into this week. She said she's worked exceptionally hard the last 3 weeks, even since that victory, to just tighten up those few things. And she looks very solid this week.
This is at the 17th. Gabby Lopez, maybe that's the spot to leave it below the hole there. Good birdie at 17. Let's go back over to 14.
And Maria Fassi for Eagle.
A healthy 50-footer, Grant, but it's possible. Left to right breaking putt.
Made one here on Friday in the opening round.
She did. The one she made on Friday was only a 10-footer.
Yeah.
That was a lot lower statistic chance of making it.
Again, she's trying to move into the top 63 and punch a ticket to next week's CME Group Tour Championship.
Nelly Corder now for a birdie at 15.
She is putting from the proper spot on this green. Should move a little right to left and then straighten up at the hole.
Didn't quite give it enough. Well, Nelly will remain at 13 under par, just ahead here for the time being at the Pelican Women's Championship. 3 to play, 16's a birdie chance, and then tricky holes at 17 and 18 to come.
Fassi with the comebacker for birdie. All kinds of star potential, Morgan, for Maria Fassi.
Yeah, she's really playing some solid golf, especially as of late. It's been fun to watch her lean into a little bit more confidence out here, Kay.
Yeah, she's been knocked down a few rungs, but she's kept a positive outlook, and she certainly has all the tools to be a multiple winner out here on tour.
Wow.
Only 2 under on the par 5s this week, Morgan. And for someone of her length, who's #1 in distance, she averages 270 yards off the tee. That's really unacceptable.
Especially when one of those holes was an eagle right here. She switched to the claw putting grip in the middle of the round last week in Japan. So in addition to all that's on the line for these players, every birdie this week is going to result in a donation of $50 to Baycare's Angel Eye Health System at Meese Countryside Hospital. And this to tie the lead for Lexi Thompson.
Well, Lexi's made 14 birdies and an eagle so far this week with 4 bogeys. I don't see a whole lot in this putt, Morgan. It's just a matter of confidently striking it and making sure she putts through it, because it's a little bit uphill.
She's been solid from this distance. Let's see.
She just will not give up. A bogey at 11. A bogey in the water at 12. back-to-back birdies at 13 and 14. Is this the day that Lexi Thompson breaks back into the winner's circle? She's tied with Nelly.
Oh.
I mean, this is exactly what happened last year. It was like a 3-shot lead for the two of them. Sei Young and Lydia sneaked in there.
Trace up. Looking from behind the green at 15 back towards the tee here in the final round of the Pelican Women's Championship. And we have a thriller, a battle between the top 2 Americans in the world. And we've got our top tracer technology for Lexi Thompson's tee shot.
Lexi fighting hard with those 2 birdies in a row, the last 2 holes. Going with the same club Nelly used just about 15 minutes ago. 7-iron looking good. Oh, wow. Just coming up a little short.
Yeah, talked about that a little earlier. It's just where the ball pitches, and we've seen it watching at 15 all day. It pitches there, it stops, it comes back a little bit. But if you get too aggressive, it can bound all the way to the back of the green. So it's very tricky. Nelly handled it well. Let's go to 16.
And Nelly's tee shot.
Needs to keep it up the left side of the fairway. The bunker comes into play at 251.
He's only missed 1 fairway this week. And that'll be just fine. Hole location today. Very accessible in the front center of that green on 16.
Now Maria Farsi back on the par 3.
She's grabbed 1 more club, going with 6-iron after seeing Lexi's shot come up short of the green. And I think the difference most likely is the fact that it's a lot cooler and drier today than it was the last couple days. Ball just not flying quite as far.
Sounded a fraction thin, maybe.
Yeah. She didn't like it. She knew it right away. So Maria Farsi is one of those players battling to get into next week's CME Group Tour Championship. And let's take a look at the projected standings. So Farsi at the moment inside the mark, making a move today. Arya Jutanagan, who missed the cut, could be the player that slips out. And Jenny Shin wasn't able to get it done. Jenny Shin, by the way, finished with a couple of bogeys in her bid to get inside that top 63. She birdied 16 and then bogeyed 17 and 18 in her round of 1 under par.
Well, Karen, after what we saw last year late here, let's not count out Stark and Corpuz.
No, I mean, anything could absolutely happen. but to do so, you'd think that a birdie here would be a must, and that just checks so quick.
Nobody's really giving that as much as they need to get it all the way back to that hole location, knowing what's beyond the flag. Everybody a little bit defensive on what you would consider to be a birdie hole for sure.
That'll be a putt to get to 11 under. She's tied with Gabby Lopez at -10. Corpuz playing with her. She's 9 under. This is the 16th, and there's that hole location Morgan mentioned. And now Corda playing with Carlota Segunda. Bogey at 15 for Segunda, back to 8 under.
Es normal, perfecto, llega de sobra y tienes lie de draw. Esta bola con este lie sí tiene que empezar en la derecha, ¿vale? Imagínatela y siéntelo. El viento un poquito a la izquierda, ¿no? Ayudando principalmente. El viento izquierda-derecha no la mueve. Lo que predomina ahí es el lie, que es de draw.
Grant, she has 166. She decided to go with the 3-wood off the tee. I was talking about that bunker that comes into play up the right side, and I think Nelly is well in front of her, will only have 100 yards. And, you know, I like that aggressive style coming down the last 9 holes on Sunday.
I think it's interesting what we've seen from Carlota once she did get that lead. Really made some seriously uncharacteristic mistakes that have to chalk up to being a little bit more mental than anything.
Yeah, with 4 straight birdies to start the round. She had a 2-shot lead. Go back to 14, the birdie putt for Maya Stark.
This one's going to move to the right, uphill. Got to keep your speed up.
Similar to what we saw from Maria Fossey from the other side of the hole. It just tremendous amount of break around that hole location.
At 16, Nelly.
Grant, she has 109 yards and from a perfect angle.
I feel like Nelly, 1, is very much in control, but 2, learned a lot from what happened here last year. And I don't expect to see her make the same mistake that she did last year. I think she just looks so much in control out there and knows what happened, and I think it's just really mentally tough.
Huge putt for Corpuz at 14.
It is, and this one is as straightforward as you could probably get. Up the hill. Oh.
Yeah, just been the story of her day today, Karen.
One-shot lead when the round began, but now 4 back with 4 to go to 15.
And Lexi out with the putter from off the green.
And Tom, initially where her ball ended up, there were 2 old ball marks that would have been in her line and a problem to deal with. But because they're still playing lift, clean, and place, she could move her ball a little more to the right and has a clear runway. Fossey's birdie bid came up short, and that also a little short, but I think she'll take that tap in 3.
Yeah.
Another very good speed effort from off the green. Shows just what kind of growing up on this type of grass and practicing a lot on Bermuda. She's very comfortable with that shot.
Yeah, it's the case for the 2 players at the top of the leaderboard. Both grew up in Florida.
Segunda. Oh.
Back at the 15th hole here at the Pelican Golf Club in Bel Air, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area of the state. A little cooler today. A little more breeze for this final round, Karen.
It certainly is. Much different from yesterday, where it was really hot and humid out here, but pretty cool right now. Stark's got a 7-iron as well, and having heard what Lexi and Nelly hit in front, she's going to have to really get hold of this one.
Too far right. Oh, but it got a nice little kick. We saw Lexi come up short, and the ball just died. That one hopped forward, and it's actually going to be okay. She's got a putt for a birdie. Corpus looks ready to go.
Yeah, 6-iron for Alison. Not quite as long as Maya off the tee. And into the green with her iron, so... But I think that right side is the way to go, Tom. Get it to land right at the flag, and you get that little hop on. You're not pitching into an upslope like Lexi did where it stopped. It's funny, Tom, you never truly know how you're going to react. You know, when you get into this position and you're in the final group, and a chance to win for the first time, and it's all such a learning curve and how your body reacts, and good looking shot.
Yeah, that one's worked out very well. Yeah, and going up against the best players, really, or some of the most famous players on the tour, Lexi Thompson and Nelly Korda. Alison, the only player over par for the day in the top 20, but a chance to get it back to level.
Gabby Lopez, we saw the birdie at 17. This is her second of the 18th. She's tied for third.
It's actually the miss today on 18 is slightly right of that hole location. It's a very good shot.
Lexi Thompson in with her par at 15. Nelly Korda has a birdie putt at 16 to come in a moment. It is the final Sunday of the LPGA Tour's regular season. Here in the Tampa-St. Pete area, it is the Pelican Women's Championship. We are coming down to the wire, much like we did last year with Lexi Thompson and Nelly Korda vying for their first victories of the season. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Kay Cockwell, Karen Stupples, and Angela Stanford watching Nelly for the lead. And Nelly Korda takes the lead by one. Big drive, found the fairway, took advantage.
She has just played flawless golf today. Been so in control of her golf ball.
Just a moment ago on the tee, Lexi Thompson with an iron.
Yeah, opting to lay up well short of the bunker on the right and the pine trees that come in tightly on the left. It'll leave her more yardage in, but that was a smart play.
And we just saw Nelly hit nearly like a flip wedge into this green. Big advantage. It is an accessible hole location, though, today.
Back over at the 15th, Maya Stark has a birdie putt to come. 4 behind now, so she's got to really make this one, Karen.
Absolutely she does. She wants to have a chance at that trophy. There's a big scoreboard behind this green as well, so if she was looking to see where she was, there's no excuse for not looking right now, just to figure out what you've got to do. I think she's the kind of player that would absolutely relish the thought of having to try and make something happen. I think she's one of those players that would enjoy that. There's a little bit of distance on this putt.
Let's quickly go over to 16.
And let's see if Lexi's strategy pays off. Her approach here at the par 4.
Curious, this is exactly the same yardage and wind condition, or close to the same wind condition she had on the 6th hole. This 159 yards, playing it more like a 130, 35 yard shot. Going with the 9-iron, wind helping left to right. And dialed that in pretty nicely for distance.
That's going to leave a quick putt down the hill. That was a big 9-iron.
Huge. That putt to tie Nelly, who's off to the 17th hole. As we go back to 15.
And Maya start for the 2.
And she did back off, Tom, and made a little readjustment of the line on her ball. So once she got over it, she realised that she hadn't given it enough break. And my goodness.
Still didn't give it quite enough break.
Nope.
I do think you're right, though, Karen. I think she relishes being in this position and enjoys the moment. Her fiery, competitive nature really thrives in these situations.
Let's go to the tee at the 17th and Nelly Korda.
Yeah, good swing.
So this hole, I was going to say 100% of the field have hit the fairway here, and it's still 100% despite the sprinkler head.
We never see anybody hit a sprinkler head. We've seen it twice in our broadcast today.
Yeah, and she's got a little bit of extra distance there. Whether that will affect the yardage she has in with her second, and whether it's a number that she likes or doesn't like, we will find out. But 100% of the field have hit the fairway at 17. It's the 4th hardest hole on the golf course, so it gets very difficult when you're playing that second shot.
At the 16th hole, Lexi Thompson with a putt for birdie to tie the lead.
And as for her third birdie in the last 4 holes, kind of a tough one to read. I don't see a whole lot in it. It is downhill. No, and she guarded too much against the speed on that one, Morgan.
Yeah, some of these hole locations, if you get above the hole around this golf course, putting down green, we've seen it all week, players being a little bit tentative.
Well, we have a moment. We want to remind you that LPGA USGA Girls Golf is on a mission to change the face of the game. Join the movement and inspire the next generation of LPGA Tour players. Help make little girls' big dreams come true at girlsgolf.org. Morgan, I know you're an alumna of that program. And, a lot of autographs soon to come for these players. Maria Fassi, or for these youngsters. Maria Fassi and Lexi signed more than anybody.
I saw Nelly yesterday after the round signing a bunch of autographs for some youngsters.
Listen to Allison Corpuz talking about what you meant to her, meeting her when you were playing in Hawaii and she was just a youngster. Here's Fassi for birdie at 16. How about this comeback?
It could be enough to get her into CME. At this moment, it certainly is. And just wonderful fight back.
By the way, she's tied for third. Still at least an outside chance to do something special. 17.
It's a feely one, but I think it's playing at least low 90s. And it's going to be right to left, 73, 78. I like a 92 shot. You got it. Come on.
That is a smart conversation from her caddy. Her caddy is telling her the correct thing to do in this moment. She has plenty of green behind this flag. The only place she can't miss it is short.
Club 12. Does she love it? Yeah, she should love it. That was just needs to stay there. There is a bit of slope back towards the front of the green, but not enough momentum on the ball to drag it back. Angela, she put a new ball in play there, we understand?
She did. She called the official over and showed him her golf ball, hit a sprinkler head, and apparently it was not round anymore, so she put a new ball in play.
And, all within the rules. You've got to keep an eye on the golf ball. You don't want to be playing with a golf ball that's out of shape, and the pros would know that right away, looking down at the ball, seeing a mark, or seeing that massive bounce in the fairway and thinking, what happened there? Now Fassi is going to go not with the driver here.
Yeah, that's interesting. This hole playing back into the wind, but it's really not a long hole, as you talked about, but perhaps thinking instead of getting it the proper distance where she has a comfortable number for her second.
It was the same club she actually pulled in the first round, and she hit a little bit of a low left hook that bounced out of the fairway bunker. Ended up making birdie.
And this, hugging the left-hand side, may not clear.
No. Bounces right into it.
I think it might stay.
Not sure what she was thinking there. Stay where? Stay in the bunker. Shot 62 on Friday in the first round of Maria Fassi. Remember, the first round on Thursday was washed out, so that's why it's a 54-hole event. We had the tropical storm come through, and they did great work just to get the golf course playable. It's pretty incredible that we've managed to get 3 rounds in. Now Lexi, she got the driver out here?
She does. And I like this play better. I don't know why Fassi would go with a 3-wood, because this is a pretty wide open fairway, and you can aim down at the left edge of that right bunker all day and not get it there.
I mean, Tom, I just want to note that since you said that 100% of the field hit this fairway, 2 players have now missed this fairway.
Yeah, Carlota Segunda missed the fairway as I was saying that as we went to break. Now Lexi.
Lexi's going to find it.
Yeah, that's in good shape. So Nelly has a chance for a birdie up on the green at 17. Lexi may need to match her. Stay within 1. Back on the 17th with Nelly Korda putting for birdie. And how good of a look is this one, Angela?
This is a great look. It's right up at it. I feel like it's going to be fairly straight. She's made a lot of these putts today.
Oh, right in there. Just dead weight. We talked about it earlier in the week, Morgan, how she likes to dribble the ball in the hole, and that was a great example.
And you know that she's talked about what she did here last year on Sunday in her pre-round press conference, and that was on her mind. I think this birdie meant maybe even a little bit more for her this year.
Last year she hit it over the green and kind of duffed it into the bunker and then knocked it out on the green and 3-putted from short range. What a different story it is this year. And Nelly has a 2-shot lead walking to the final hole. And let's take a look at what would happen with a win. She would get back to #1 in the Rolex World Rankings, projected to move to 15th in the race to the CME Globe. Remember, she missed a good portion of the early part of the season, and it would be win number 8. So we could see an American back to being the world #1 here. And when the rankings come out tomorrow.
Looks like maybe a little bit of icing here on the 18th tee.
It's not the kind of hole where you want a long wait. Especially not if you're Nelly. She likes to play quickly.
Final pair at 16, Allison Corpuz.
Well, this is a really good looking shot here, and one that she will definitely enjoy.
That was just a moment ago. Looking for her second birdie of the day. To 17.
And Farsi from the bunker.
Yeah, Tom, just not far from the edge of the bunker, but it is a good line, and she can hit this right down the line, the trough line that the ball made rolling into the bunker. Oh, caught it really heavy.
So easy to do from there. That's a really difficult shot, playing a fairway bunker shot with the leading edge like that.
And it's going to be really hard up and down upcoming.
Yeah, there's no green to work with.
Pretty much straight.
Big mistake off the tee.
At the 16th, Maya Stark's third.
Yeah, it's not been great with her approach shots today, and having to get up and down from this bunker, and it's a nice one.
It would appear it has come down to just Nelly and Lexi.
I mean, if you flight in 95 shot down, son,
it's going to be pretty full. You know, like the 95 is close to full
full
for that wedge.
Oh, all right.
For the 55.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. I thought you were saying pitching was there. But all right. Yeah, I get you.
88. 88, I gotta land. I mean, this is a good.
Yeah.
Straight in.
Straight in. No.
I like that last statement, and that's re-emphasizing that going a little bit past this flagstick is okay. There's plenty of room back there, using this 55-degree wedge that she likes to hit 100, 105 yards.
Yeah, I like this, taking a little bit more club as opposed to hitting the absolute max with one less club and having too much spin on the ball into the wind.
That was what she was looking for. Oh, goodness, maybe too much spin.
Yeah, there's a slope there.
Oh, no, it looked like that would be okay.
It's got to sit down. It can come back even more.
Goodness. These greens in places are just diabolical.
I mean, what happened to her on the 12th hole, hitting it, spinning it back off the green into the water, and then here, that was... I mean, you know that you have to work on your spin. She just didn't quite carry it far enough. It's similar to what happened on 12, just a few feet short of where she needed to be.
Yeah, just that 17th green, it doesn't look that severe, but that slope is subtle. And once you get some spin on the ball, it just comes all the way back off the green.
Corpuz for birdie at 16.
I think this will be a really solid learning experience for Allison, being in this position in the final group with a lot of pressure. And, you know, it hasn't been her day, but she's fought hard.
It has been Nellie's day. She is 7 under on her round, bogey-free. And this birdie at the 17th has given her, again, a 2-shot lead.
$100 yards. And this is the shot that Lexi Thompson faces for her third. She's 2 behind.
Not easy, and you could just see kind of the look of disbelief on her face watching that thing suck back off the green, and she knew now this is not a straightforward chip shot that you can think about making. I mean, it could possibly go in, but the big thing is she loves to putt from off the putting surface and not able to do it because she has to carry this over the edge of the bunker, or just right at the edge of the bunker. And she hasn't chipped in a while. I guess she had a pitch shot on the 14th hole, but that was more like a 30-yard shot. This is just a 15 paces to the hole.
Yeah, you'd think that if this comes up a little bit short, it could end up back at her feet again.
Just have to commit to it and stay fluid through the shot and accelerate. Yep, she did just that.
Beautiful.
That was textbook.
Bogeyed 17 and 18 last year. That to make the par here.
While we have a moment, we invite you to get connected with the LPGA on social media. They're on Facebook. On Twitter, they're at LPGA. Instagram at LPGA_tour. You've got one of the fastest players on tour, and Nelly Korda nursing a 2-shot lead. How hard is this for a fast player, Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, especially with the roll that she's on. She's just birdied her last 2 holes, probably a little bit of adrenaline as well. It might help to slow it down just a little bit, but she does like to play fast. It happens on tour. You're used to it. You're used to, on occasion, having weights like this, but what this weight shows is how challenging this hole is. Yeah. And how long it is taking the players to play because of that back right hole location and the players who have missed it into the water.
Farsi for a par at 17. Steady. Okay, it's going to be a bogey.
Boy, that's a hard one to get past, missing that fairway today when she's been really making a good move on this back 9.
I mean, she's not guaranteed to be in the CME Group Tour Championship just yet. She's okay at the moment, but you know, a double bogey really makes a big difference. And the bogey's been posted, and she's still in. She's projected at 57th. Now, Lexi to save par. 2 shots, not ideal, but she could still win. 3-shot difference. It's going to be difficult.
The 2-shot swing is what she and Nelly had last year on the 18th. She bogeyed, Nelly birdied.
Okay, good up and down. They had 84 yards. They said 100 yards is fine, and the ball pitched flag high and spun back off the green. So it's very, very difficult with that second shot to get the number right, especially with the amount of spin that Lexi puts on it.
Nelly began the day 2 shots back. She birdied her first hole, birdied 7, birdied 8, birdied 10, and then this beauty at the 13th.
I mean, she has just been absolutely flawless with her ball striking this week, only having missed 1 fairway.
She would make that for birdie. She and Lexi were tied at 13 under, and she took driver and then took advantage.
Yeah, this was a huge drive, left her with just a little wedge into this challenging hole. And she talked about being a little off with her distance control on the first round after all of that rain and struggling to dial it in, but she is dialed in today.
And then at the 17th, she caught a sprinkler head, hit right down the middle with her tee shot. It bounded forward. She hit an absolute dart in here with her second and converted the birdie. And now it's Nelly, who's won 7 times on tour. She's never won when trailing entering the final round, as she did today.
Good target, good tempo. Come on.
Look at our tee shot of Nelly Korda here with her. She has hit nearly every fairway this week. One here would go a long way to her 8th win.
Yeah, beauty. Great shot.
She hears that a lot. She has this week.
It doesn't, I mean, nothing has flustered her today. It's been a windy day. It's been tough to play from that perspective, and she's just been so on balance.
17.
Second shot for Corpuz. It's just a moment ago.
This is from 130 and a 7-iron. And normally a 7-iron goes 150. That just tells you how this into the wind and coolness is playing on these players right now.
Yeah, and it plays kind of uphill, doesn't it, Karen? So you're hitting up into the wind. Let's see if Stark can get it right. Corpuz did a lovely shot there.
It was absolutely beautiful. And you're right. I mean, the flag is perched right in front of those big, deep bunker at the front of the green. But Stark's only got 102. So the way she puts spin on the ball, she has to land this past the hole.
Yeah, I feel like she only really has one speed, Karen. Full speed.
It's true.
Yeah, it's going to stay there. It's going to not be an easy putt, but it's a lot better than being short. So Nelly Korda safely away at the 18th. Lexi now has that weight. Nelly trying to successfully defend here.
I'll take it. The 18th has just been a brute. All 3 years they played the Pelican Women's Championship. 28 double bogeys or worse this week. And Hyo-Joo Kim is the latest victim.
When you take a drop here, it's even just hard to get the ball to stay.
Yeah.
Drop it twice and then end up placing. Even to get it to stay when placing is a challenge.
And again, the wait continues for Nelly. Got the rain pants on. It was chilly on Sunday last year. And Lexi and Nelly went overtime with Lydia Ko and Se-Young Kim. She's added the sweater and the rain pants. Nelly Ewing, while Hyo-Joo Kim sees if she can get her ball to stop, is going to have this putt. It's been another good week for Allie. Good second half of the season, including that victory in Cincinnati. Tied for 5th at the moment.
Yeah, this will probably actually be only her second top 10 of the year. Her only other one coming at that victory in Cincinnati.
Par 70, so 3 rounds in the 60s for Allie. So let's not ground the club, just to be safe here. Hyo-Joo Kim, 4th shot on the par 4.
Oh, that came out really low. Had to be a little bit of a mishit. That's just when you've already been struggling on the day, and it's just tiring. You're at the end of the tournament, you're already having a rough day, and then this happens to you on 18. It's not a lot of fun.
So Nelly waits in the fairway. Lexi waits back on the tee. And then Corpuz and Stark are in that final pair.
I think 6 is.
Bogey putt for Kim.
Should have a decent amount of left to right break in this, a little bit up the hill.
Ninth-ranked player in the world. A winner this year at the Lotte Championship. A home sponsor advantage for her out in Hawaii. 2 over today.